see.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Okay. I repeat, it's so nice to see you.
It is mutual.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. That did not work. Okay. Here we go. Okay, checking connection. I am now live.
Yes, she is.
Okay. So can you request
Look.
me?
Yes, I just joined. And
Hey, I'm so excited to have you guys. Exodeus has joined. Okay, so request me.
requested.
Perfect. View. I am going live with Exodeus. Auntie Ivy's on. She was in Italy with us.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
So I can hear the feedback. So just turn the computer volume down maybe just a little bit while we're talking into Zoom. And someone.
Hold up. I'm trying to lower the cell phone's volume. Okay. All right. Do you still hear feedbacks?
A little bit.
Oh, really?
But not so bad. Maybe let's just roll with it and see how we do.
All right.
Okay.
Still trying, like.
Yeah, but maybe put the phone, settle the phone so I don't get nauseous.
Just put it there.
All right.
Yeah, probably lean it against your computer. Okay. So.
Careful.
Welcome, you guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, beautiful people.
So good to see you.
So good to see you too. Okay, I just want to let everyone know that we're also in the Zoom room in case people want to be in two places at once, because Celio Bordin is channeling our chat into live art, because he is a medium that transforms energy into art with a fountain pen.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. We are
what's up?
Very hot in Los Angeles today.
Hi, Celio. Good to see you. Celio
We're
Bordin.
having a chilly spring.
Oh, nice. So yeah, Celio Bordin is from Italy, and we're really happy to have him doing this because we get to have a body of work come out of these chats. It's really cool.
It's dope.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So how are you guys doing?
Yeah, we good.
We good.
We good.
Yeah.
You know, staying creative.
Yeah. Creative.
Is it like super potent, the creativity for you guys right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not enough hours as usual in the day.
True.
Get to sleeping early as much as possible, but trying to sleep early, but it doesn't much happen.
It's like sleeping late and waking up not too late.
Yeah, so creative that it just,
every day we're like, oh my god, the day's passing too fast. You know.
Yeah.
Like a superpower I think I would like to have would be I don't have to sleep, perhaps.
Yeah, he's been talking a lot about it.
And instead of sleeping, I would substitute with meditating.
And what is something else? I'm gonna turn up the volume on my cell phone and turn down the volume on my computer entirely. Does that work?
Oh, maybe we could.
Can you guys hear me on Zoom still?
We still hear you.
Yeah, we still hear you still.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm not getting feedback anymore. So you hear me on Zoom and Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
okay, perfect. Oh, I found a solution for myself. I'm so excited. Okay, great. Okay, jumping in. So I'm so excited to have you guys because I feel like our creative potency together is really, really powerful. And just the other day, I was doing a talk with an artist from New York, and it came up how I met you guys because of being on a break in Montreal and needing a Band-Aid and stopping in a deli how that like led to going to your temple and channeling prints and icons in an actual kind of seance setting, which was really crazy. And I didn't realize that the day I was talking about this for the first time in a long time was death day.
It was what?
Prince's death day.
Oh my God.
I remember that. Oh my God, yes.
And so this was just the other day, April 21st.
Wow.
So what I want to start with, since we're so into synchronicity, and I feel like that's really inspiring at this time during a pandemic to like understand that there is a flow, there is like a nature to everything, you know? And so even a story like ours, I think is a great example of this universal music that's just like constant, you know? So can you share from your experience, to give people backstory, what it was like when we met, and what are some of the synchronicities that you remember?
Absolutely.
Because you guys are great storytellers. So.
Once upon a time, Jen DeLia came into the door.
And wait, I also want to let people know that these two are incredible artists. Musically, painting, alchemy, facial products, body products, like the hats you wear are like huge and many. And it's really epic and it's really special. But okay, so going back to 2017, when I wandered into your space, basically off the street, like what happened?
I'd like to start
Go ahead.
by saying that when the temple was open and we were having all of the flyers to promote it, that for some reason, in only one place, is it in only one place that we ended up putting in all of our flyers there, and you know, and we were having a good relationship with actually the two guys who used to have that store. And one day, there's a woman.
Like basically corner store in Montreal. It's just like a bodega. Yeah.
Exactly.
One store in Montreal.
In this bodega.
Exactly. Not even another holistic place or none of that. And when you just follow the flow, there's certain things to the reason that just makes no sense. But we didn't even question. We just, we'll put it there. We get along with these guys, and they're pretty cool, good vibes. Leave the flyer there, and our business card that had Bhakti Yoga on it.
And I was walking all over Montreal, like, where's the Bhakti? Like, I had gone to the Bhakti Center in New York, and I was just craving it so much. And then I had a blister on my foot and went into this deli.
Exactly. And your first time in Montreal too, wasn't it?
First time, never been, didn't know anyone, was totally just wanting to be secluded. Yeah. Okay, so you put your flyers there.
Put the flyers there. Back to the temple. It's a day's pass, a week passes. And then one day there's this woman, this lady who just comes through.
And coming in, what did she? I think the first conversation.
She was looking around, and and then she came up.
And I asked, I think
the woman is me, right?
Yeah, it is you. And there is
you're like at the front podium. Exodeus was off to the side working on her computer.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think you asked me to take my shoes off.
Yeah, exactly. And I was on the counter, and then you showed up and asked a couple of questions about the place, and I started telling about the holistic treatments that we offer, which is a combo of mesotherapy, energetic work, and all of these things. And I think you were like, oh, well, do you have space for tomorrow? I think it was as quick as that.
Well, what you guys also, what you told me, because Exodeus entered and started like chiming into the conversation. And we realized, Satya, that you and I had like production and different history in the storytelling field. And we were vibing on that. And then finally EXO came up. And what you guys told me, which you can interrupt me at any moment, was how you have this hands-on treatment that you both do with your hands. And it's like this transcendental experience of like facial Reiki, bath with rose petals, like, yeah, like divine tapas, like, and it was like the price of an hour massage. I was like, sign me up. Like, what's up with these people?
I remember. That's and it was the day. I think the day after you came back.
I think it was the following day. She didn't wait like for 2 weeks or something. No. She was like, sign me up. And you know, I remember you mentioned during the treatment you were getting all of those downloads. I mean, you say that afterwards, we were just, you know.
But first of all, she couldn't get up at the table. I remember that. She was like, I can, could you have to get up? Like, it was just so hairy and just so smooth.
I was in there for literally like 5 lifetimes.
Yeah.
What day is it? Where am I? Like, what just happened? It was honestly, truly the most incredible experience. Like, ever. I felt like you guys were like octopus that had like 8. So much going on. Oh, my friend Jolene is on. And I got a message from literally Mary Pickford. Her voice. It was actually audible. Saying that the music and the sounds I was hearing in this treatment should be in the film.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I had like period music, Mary Pickford, 19 teens, 1920s. I wasn't thinking like Tibetan bowls and like
shamanic drums and stuff.
Like, how do I, because I take these kinds of signs and voices very seriously. So I was like, how do I tell these people I don't know that we don't do music for movies, that I need to like look into this? And so I was sort of like playing it really cool when we sat down to have the tea. I was like, I made this movie about Mary Pickford. Do you know who she is? And you were like, I think so. She actually had roots in Quebec. Remember?
Exactly. Her parents met
in Quebec, which is
it's like we met in Quebec. Her parents met in Quebec. It's so crazy.
I've been editing for super long time. I'd love to get some fresh eyes on the movie. Would you guys be down to like check it out and give me your opinion? That was my entry point to, I'm going to talk to them about this music. And so like 2 days later, I brought my movie back over to your studio.
Yeah.
And then you guys
see the paintings too. You were like, oh, and the painting. I remember
your painting.
Yeah. They were all over the place.
Oh, it's true. They were all over. Yeah, exactly.
When I walked into your place, your paintings like knocked me off. So, in conclusion, now you guys have done music for the movie, you've done artwork for the movie, you've like helped with the branding of the project, helped retitle the project. Like you've been so instrumental in the whole entire process. And the night that I came back to your studio after you agreed to make music for it was the night that we like set the space with the incense and we set up all of our devices, our like iPhones, remember? And
absolutely.
So much channeling, so much. It was a wild
man. It felt like having like setting up, you know, a spaceship. You know, like exactly. All the iPads, the computers, and the cell phones, everything to capture sounds and to just, you know, travel within any symbols that we can use. And it was like, whoa, having like instruments. We had the shamanic drums, we had Tibetan bowls, and I had my beatbox. And and I remember you
it was amazing because I later really discovered how much Pickford did channel indigenous wisdom. Like it was such an important exploration for me to do to honor her spirit. And I hadn't been there yet. And in that night in your studio, I had no idea that these iconic artists, mostly that had passed away, but not all, were going to come in and become a part of that soundscape. And that there was this like message of Pickford as the mother of the storytelling field, and how it's really important for them to come through this movie. And meanwhile, Exodeus was chanting words from Pickford's, you know, memoir that's about universal love.
Absolutely. Very ahead of its time.
What can you say about what she stands for and what we stand for, which is artists uniting, which is like this collaborative experience where you have to like be open vessels in order to like elevate, right? The content.
Absolutely.
Like, what can you say about that?
When I read this manifesto that she wrote, I felt so much of what I find most godly in human beings. Was very the child within, that ever connection with what is émerveillement?
To be like marveled.
To be, you know, like émerveillé par la vie, you know, always seeing life like wow,
and all of its wonders.
In all of these wonders, and in her manifesto, I really saw like a very like that very more alike child that is experiencing energy. And the way she was sharing it was so refreshing, because there was a very comment on dit, naïve un peu?
Yeah, like innocent.
Innocent. There was that
Marvel. This guy says Marvel, this Clinton.
Marvel at life, exactly.
Yeah, voila.
Exactly. And yeah.
Someone else was saying awe. It's true. Like,
so that was really what I felt, and I find this within myself also. So it was like, oh, it's so refreshing. It's that you know, to however we call it, it's energy. So it's like, oh, it was refreshing and so wonderful to see, because she did. I mean, when you see her movies and you see her acting, it was such a naturalness and a vivid, just spontaneous.
You see grace when she acts.
Yes.
It's like when you
like a presence, right? Like
exactly.
We're talking about Mary Pickford, who just happens to be the very first, you know, movie star and female producer. I almost feel like I'm not doing her justice when I like say those things. So it feels academic, like she was the first producer, but like she was. I mean, she really cared about the craft, and she was exploring alter ego and dreams, and she was friends with Einstein, and
exactly
followed Yogananda. Who knew? I just found that out.
It makes so much sense.
It makes a lot of sense. You know, she was a spirit, you know, and I think that what's, you know, the whole aspect of, you know, she was the first, let's say, producer and the first to do this and that. What strikes me is that those titles were not her motivation.
That's what she was so authentic.
And that's why it was so authentic. And it's also a message for anyone and everyone that she had to, there was a deeper calling. And to her, at first, it was, you know, I want to take care of my family. I want to take care of people that I love and that needs my help, and I will do what I must.
Yeah.
And I'll stand up for myself. And to see that calling and that purpose, that it drives you to you know, break records and an industry. I mean, there wasn't even an industry necessarily yet as we know it now, but you become like a pioneer.
Exactly.
That's
moving
like
by grace.
Moving by grace
instead of moving by
you know, control and manipulation
of
and
recognition, and
it's
stardom and all of this that kind of taint that pure like spontaneity of you know, of whatever we do in life.
Exactly. which explain why when you make that film, you know, why not choose love? That seems to be the driving force.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
and
you knew that the founder of Hollywood came from that place, and it caused me to literally go into the word Hollywood.
Yeah.
First of all, like, what is that? Secondly, it's like Holly. When you look it up, it's holy. You know, when you look up wood, what is that? Earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get into this storytelling field, this energetic field of so much information and so much symbolism, and she really wanted it to elevate humanity. You know, she got really kind of depressed actually about what like became of this creation, you know, something she thought was really, really could be a really positive, powerful tool, you know, and I don't want to knock
in the wrong hands.
Exactly.
But I think we're in a time of like transformation, because during this pandemic time, Pickford keeps coming up in the news. I must get.
I saw it. I know.
It's like the first philanthropist, the first woman to support community in Hollywood, the first to care about her peers, and during a pandemic 100 years ago. Oh, wow. And the first year of United Artists was 1919, 100 years ago. So the Motion Picture and Television Relief Fund, like, literally just named a building after her, like, the other day or something. So she's like having this absolute rebirth. And we made this movie that's considered avant-garde. What can you say about that? Like, in terms of how you feel about content and it not being allowed to have a wild vision sometimes, like when, you know, the machine, the industry is really involved. Do you think there's creative freedom? Like, what do you think? You guys too, as artists.
Yeah, for myself, what I'm seeing is that it's like, on the one hand, you know, the word media, for example, is that you have a medium. So it means there's like a source, and the media is between you and that source. And what I'm seeing is that, as we were talking about earlier today with, you know, just now with the synchronicities that have happened, for example, me putting the flyer in at Bodega, we put, you know, and then you're looking for a place, Bhakti Yoga, our card has Bhakti Yoga,
flow,
and you come, you know, you come to our spot, and then we discovered many other synchronicities, and it just keeps unfolding. What I see is that nature makes no mistake. And sometimes we're looking for the source and things that are not controlled by nature, but nature always finds a way. And when we're connecting to source, I feel there's only so much banning that you can do. There's only so much banning that you can do.
She will still come into that
she
wall.
Will still find a way.
Find a way to come out.
Exactly. So there's a lot of banning right now, but there's only so much you can ban.
Yeah.
You know, we all have intuition, we have instincts, and people are listening more and more to the intuition and instincts. So you'll get the information that you need. You'll feel when something is off, even though it can be said in, you know, in all of the news or in books and whatever. There's that little voice inside. And more, I'm seeing people who are not having necessarily synchronicities in their life are starting to have synchronicities in their life, and they're talking about it, and they put themselves in a question, like, what is that? How come I was thinking about that? And then it happens, you know? So it's like, there's banning, but it seems that still
saying there's banding, like banning?
No, like banning, like you're, when we banning, you know, like, for example, when an interview is banned, it's censored. Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, like, there's only so much censorship that you can do, you know. It will always, truth or whatever you want to express will always find a way.
Yeah.
It always finds a way to come up.
Will always.
It doesn't matter that Mary Pickford's story has been censored, because again, it's coming out still, you know. Maybe not for the mass, but it will reach. And for me, that's the way I experience it. I see the strength of our interconnection that shows us whatever we need to have, no matter what.
Trust.
And to trust that soul flow is marvelous. You know, it's marvelous. And I feel you cannot block an artist completely. It will, you know, I have to quote Tupac for this one. You were saying, like, you know, we don't die, we multiply. Oh, I'll repeat that. Okay. We're saying we don't die, we multiply, you know? So it's like.
I was just thinking about Tupac. I really was, because the other day I was having a chat with DJ Who Kid, and you came on, right? We started talking about Tupac.
Yeah.
Which is the day that one of our collaborators scheduled for the Tupac clip from our movie to be the post on Instagram. And I didn't know DJ Who Kid was going to bring up Tupac. But he's so instrumental in the movement for independent artistry, right? Like, he literally opens our movie about the mother of Hollywood. These are such universal themes.
Which brings us to, you know, when we talk about in icons, and you know, it's when, you know, just a face becomes a representation of a theme.
Of a theme, like archetypes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, and it's interesting that, you know, for example, the word icon, if you check other, you know, fields that use that term, I think in technology it is used, like, for example, even in, like, an icon is, let's say when you know, you have your computer and you see the icon of Zoom, for example, or icon.
I was talking about the other day. It's like a button you push.
Yeah.
It's a symbol, right? It's
exactly.
A symbol. Like,
exactly.
Button, and I'll get that energy.
Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, so that's interesting when it's, so what about
praying to an icon is something we have to really think about and feel.
Exactly.
If we go into superficial aspect of it, we might pray to something that it's not what we think about, you know? So it's really important to let that fall and really go deeper within ourselves to really feel like, what am I praying to, you know? It's all energy.
What energy you allowing in your space, you know?
It's beyond the veil.
And it's also what we've been talking about a lot with different artists that I've been chatting with, is that looking at the icon within, like what you're actually seeking in idolization is actually something that you have inside, you know?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Shift away from praying to something outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And more, because a lot of, even being in this pandemic, and they talk about going inward, which is like got a double meaning of being inside your house, but also going inside your psyche, inside your being. Can you find the love, the connection?
Exactly.
That you're idolizing? Can you find that inside? And what would happen if we did as a collective? Like,
exactly,
we would probably buy into the same structures.
Exactly. Exactly.
Crumbling down.
It crumbles because, and that's the thing. That's the key there. I think there's, what is that quote again? It says you're rewarding your teacher poorly if you remain a student forever. Something that goes like that. And I feel that, like, for example, I'll give her an example. Like, there's another artist that I listen to a lot. I've been listening a lot lately. Rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. And I was thinking about the fact, you know, I listen to this guy and I like the words, and it gets me going. And for me, like, every time I listen to this MC, I just find myself even more motivated, focus on my own dreams, the things I want to stay focused on and stuff, right? So I remember yesterday, funny enough, because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine on the Humanizing the Icon, and I sent him an interview that were actually talking about Nipsey Hussle and Kobe Bryant. And basically the guy was saying exactly in the interview what I feel. It was saying, why do we listen to these people, or why do we you know, people would have posters, is that what they're selling us is also a mentality. And there's a mentality that you want to include within your life. Now, the thing is, at some point, that mentality must be integrated. And in effect, when, as you say, you find the icon inside, which is it's you, but in your iconic sphere, what do you represent? You know, what energy you bring in? You know, what you know, what meaning you bring into people's life and also into you. You know, how do you feel about yourself when you're on your own? Do you like what you do? Do you feel proud of what you
To
accomplished?
lose ourselves always in the outside,
Yeah.
it's a delusion, and you know, it's too much attention on the outside, on the material. That's the sad thing of it, is when you lose it all, or when it's not there anymore, there's nothing sustainable. So that's why to going in and to flourish and cultivate oneself, self-love, and taking care of that, it just keeps on flourishing and flourishing in this garden within. Just start to be just the heaven, you know, the paradise, and you can share that around you, and it's felt, it's energy. It's, we have, you know, it's everything. We are in an ocean of energy, so we are part of it, and we can change so many, you know, it's the subtle energy, but we can change so much. We can change ourselves and what's around. That's our power. We are so.
We are, you know, we are vibrational beings, and science has definitely caught up to that. So I think that it's subtle, but it's also not. Like, it's also really impactful too, that we can do the work to literally raise our vibration, which actually contributes to the whole collective healing. Which I feel like for those of us blessed to be in a nice home and having the opportunity, the luxury really to meditate, really doing that for the collective, you know? And I know a lot of people are into a lot of esoteric, Esoteric Agenda is actually a documentary I just watched. I think I'll be interviewing the director in a couple weeks.
Bravo.
And there was a line from our movie in the documentary.
Whoa.
That I got from an Erykah Badu track.
Oh.
But I don't know where she got it, and I don't know where this filmmaker, I don't know if it comes from a scientist or a philosopher, but it's actually about what they can measure in science now as the voltage of the frequency of love and of fear. And as we age of fear, where our energetic field actually lies on the spectrum of literally numbers, and what happens when you go into love. And there's an amazing spoken word line in this Erykah Badu track that's in our soundtrack that appears in this documentary, but not as Erykah Badu, just as an academic statement. And I was like, whoa. So I emailed my brother. I was like, how do I get to Erykah Badu? Because he was like hanging out with her at some point. It was really funny. So, but just going back to that, it's like navigating that balance of like, how much do you spread information around that is about the system, and sort of like this idea of us having, you know, kind of being servants, right, to a system, whether it's money or the Federal Reserve or healthcare. You're
Sorry.
Hi. How much do you talk about, how much is healthy to talk about that, right? Because like at the same time, you're still kind of feeding it by giving it airtime, when actually our work is, we're saying, is to raise the vibration. Are we being helpful? You know what I mean? If we like kind of spread around what seems like negative messaging, we're actually watering that seed.
That seed, yeah. It's
I'm
just curious what you think. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying I know, you know.
First,
somehow I feel that, you know, it's so, I mean, you know, it's just an observation, but so many people, we all in different, you know, stage of I would say of observation, and some people have a little bit more the edge in the,
In the soil?
la tête dans le sable, you know, in the head, in the sand, a little bit more. So the observation is like, sometimes I hear myself.
You hear yourself, right? Feedbacks.
Feedbacks. So it's so we are so many people, and we all, if we take off the body, we all in energy together. We are a big wave of energy. Because of the body, we seem separated. So some of us, and we all stand somewhere in different front line, but it's all the same. But we do have, I feel when something is very spontaneous, that comes from the source within oneself, whatever it's to destroy something, okay, or if you go on a war zone, when it's not from greed, it's from more of an act of we'll say a divine justice in a way, like in the sense, like it's really like a spontaneous from the soul. It's beyond negative and positive. It's just it is what it is.
It just is what it is. Yeah.
You know, so it's and everybody, we all in different stages, and we are here. Some are here to harmonize, some other are on the battlefield to battle, but in the same time, it's also, if it's the soul, it's always somewhere to harmonize the balance between you know, the yin yang.
Like the spirit world and the material world. I mean, that integration, I think, has been challenging for humanity for a long time, because we kind of live in this state of duality where we think that light and dark are separate. We live in this like polarizing human experience, but actually we know it's all one, right? Like when you light a candle in a dark room, there's no like definition between the dark and the light. It just is like they're all, it's like a tapestry. It's all woven together.
But the 3D is really that duality dimension.
Yeah. And that's the illusion. It's like, oh, they're evil, I'm good. It's like, well, actually, we all kind of have all of it. It's just, what role are you playing in this?
What do you choose to play? Exactly. Yeah.
In this evolution, like, you know, every role is important. Every role has its place. We want to be able to evolve beyond a lot of the things going on, but it's hard to blame. You know, it's hard to blame, I think.
Yeah, and I don't think the blame, it's more like you come into place, like it's not even the blame anymore. It's more like, okay, this is being, this is where they stand, because this is what they know. This is where they at, you know. And everybody, if they are in their place, because it's really quite interesting. You know what I mean? It's interesting. It's the teaching of it. It's the school of life. You know, there's a school of peace. There's a school of
school of love.
Of love.
Can you tell us where Exodeus comes from? Where like that word comes from, and what it means to you?
Well, what it means emanating the divine within. And Exodeus is an energy, it's definitely an energy that comes, I mean, when I was young, I always felt, there was a part of me that I felt always a bit, like there was always this connection with the spirit. You know, I was meditating in a rock, where I come from, in the forest, and in Canada. And it was always, you know, I was going to school and I was dressing as a native. I was, you know, coming from a Caucasian family, but I was dressing at 5 years old like a native, with my dress, my poncho, my hair done. And I was healing, like people was hurting back in the school. on the floor in the backyard playing, and I was, healing them, taking, with my saliva and taking herbs to heal. So it was, and I'm really connected to, I feel it was really a connection to my past life and to, more that spirit connection that was very vivid. And it's been always there, and in many different ways. So it's really the access when we understand that the matter comes from the spirit, which the matter is an energy that is more dense. So when we tap on the more subtle energy, we can really feel when anything happens. A thought is material. A thought is still a matter. So it's just very subtle. So more we get into the subtleness of our beings, we can really feel, what a person will think, or is it, so if someone comes in, what kind of energy it is. If we go into a place, I feel I should go to that place, and we feel, oh no, it doesn't. So when we tap into this energy, we can move through life, navigate through life in a way where we, how would I say, the experience becomes less dense. You know what I mean?
And that's where you got Exodeus? Was it like exploring energy and stuff?
Well, it's just a natural thing. I would say it's something that I was more having a difficulty for a while to be comfortable in my body than the opposite. So more and more I grew, more and more I connect with my body, and knew that I had to take care of my body, not just the spirit, and not just being connected to l'au-delà, but being in l'au-delà in my body. Then life starts to be much greater on earth for me. Because some people are more connected to to their body, and or maybe less open sometimes to the cosmic energy. And me, I was the opposite. So when I had a child, this really connected me to Pachamama, to the Mother Earth. And then my life started to change, because I was like, wow, my body is so important. I came here to incarnate myself, not to disincarnate myself. Because sometimes when we are very connected to spirit, and we are having a tendency to go up there very easily. It's like a vertical, ascension all the time. But the thing is, we came here to be in the body, to have that divine experience, but in the body. So that was really.
It's also interesting because one of the topics has really been about like curating our identity, and how when we come into this life, we're really kind of handed a script, and the characters in our story, like our parents and this religion, and this is how your circumstance, and it's like being handed a script, and you sort of like rebel against that identity, or you feel like you have to submit to it, but it's like not authentic, or you kind of like have to feel your way through that. And that's a lot to do with our own personal evolution too, and just like taking the power back, and like being able to craft how you see your identity, I think is so important. And especially right now, as people talk so much about gender and ethnicity and these different like shades and colors and shapes of our species, and we want to be able to celebrate all of that, right? Again, full circling to Mary Pickford, who transcended age, ethnicity, and gender in the roles that she played 100 years ago. So I always feel like you're here with us, But this sort of idea, like you really embody that, Exodeus, too, of like you found the alchemy in you, and you gave it a name. You gave it a name. Yeah, you exactly. The alchemist in you, you alchemized. And you are that from the inside out. So it's like we are works of art in and of ourselves.
Love
And
this.
when you find
We are the subject of our life.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And
That's why it's important to not only we can observe the world outside with you know, hopefully anyway, with the eyes of the heart, so we can observe but the important is really to cultivate that alchemist within, and you really go in the lab within and really do our research about to find our true nature, our true self, remembrance, know thyself. It's really and it's cool because we always with ourselves. So why are we losing so much time to always trying to figure it out from outside when we always have the ability to be here now? It's like, yo.
yeah, and it's like, it's beautiful to be inspired, by each other. But sometimes it's hard if you're not in touch with your intuition to know what are you taking on that's somebody else's, that's not yours.
It's diluting. It dilutes.
It's diluting, yeah.
Is it speaking to you truly, or are you conforming or trying to emulate something?
Yeah. Well, it seems there's like a process. I remember 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I was focusing on cells. I'll give you an example, like on cells, specifically on cells, and
like sales,
like selling products, selling services, right? And
it sounded like cells, like in the body, like our cells.
No. It seems like
I love your accent. Don't get me wrong. Okay, sales.
Montreal, baby. And and basically, I found this, a few videos on this salesman. He was selling his techniques, right? And I remember like seeing his videos and apply exactly some of the techniques because it really resonated with me. I just found myself in those techniques, but I was like, but I have to dilute it. Like there's a way that if I just apply it in a very, if I apply it right away, it won't necessarily be myself. It took me like a week that the essence of his techniques be revealed to me, like the essence, right? And that the way that I apply it now, it's natural, it's real, it resonates with me. But like you say, like I think there's a alchemical process between when you emulate until that you get the essence of the message. Because the same message, a message, how could I say, you can have one essence, but in many different ways of, expressing it. And we have to get to the essence. For some people, they will look at a man like Tupac and be like, man, I feel Christ when I listen to Tupac. Some people will say that. And for somebody else who listen to his lyrics, like, yeah, but he cursed a lot and he's talking about certain things. Like, what do you mean? You see Christ, right? But if you break down,
curse a lot.
Well, when he gets to the temple and you see people selling crap, yeah, he's cursing. What the?
And so the message, the way you can reach people like in the hood, and the way you can reach, perhaps somebody in the suburbs, or the way you can reach different people, that same essence will present its way differently, and sometimes, like there's an alchemical process until that you can see it everywhere. You see, oh man, what Jesus is saying, what Pac is saying, what a rapper like Nipsey Hussle is saying, man, when you dilute it alchemically, you get to the essence. Yeah. Oh, this ain't the same thing. Wow.
Yeah, and everyone just like looks at things through such unique lenses.
Exactly.
That there's a conflict, but actually they're all aspects.
Exactly.
And I've learned, and I'm not perfect at it, of course, but like I've learned that I may not agree initially, but like you said, if I pay attention and really listen and take the time to hear, I'll be able to see that, oh, that's just a different lens. That I can actually see that, and what you're talking about is actually acting. When you need to embody a character, you keep doing those things, running those lines, walking the walk, talking the talk, until it becomes a part of your fiber. It becomes a part of your makeup. And that's like on set, or in a show that's like acting, right?
Absolutely.
But that's in life too.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we're spending our whole lifetime, right? People are
Well,
trying to figure out like, wait, what do I really mean?
because we all playing roles, and it's to really find who's the actor behind it. You know?
Amit's on. Sorry.
What do you think?
Amit, who did the costumes for our movie. He's
Oh, what's up?
It's to really find the actor behind all the roles that we all play.
The characters and the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's is the witness, right? Is the one that like watch the
so important. Until that is not figured out, woo, it's being in the samsara. It's like being in the dream, but not awakened in the dream. It's being sleeping in the dream, you know. So it's a danger zone.
Okay.
I don't play that.
I have two exciting things to tell you.
Go ahead.
One is that I just found a full bottle or container of one of Exodeus's face products.
Oh.
And it still smelled so good. I was using it last night, so I don't know how long it stays fresh. I put it in the fridge.
It's been divinized.
So, what do you put in that brown cream that you make yourself?
Oh, it's probably over almost 50 different ingredients. So I have an array of different oils, you know, tamanu oil, calendula oils, sea burdock oils. There's so many oils because I find to use different ingredients and different oils, we all have the benefit of each of them. It's like people, each people, when we are many people together, harmonize together, we create a beautiful harmony. And like orchestra, you know, when I compose my product, it's like composing music, and every note, every instrument brings, you know, something to the other. So it's like a composition becomes more rich of itself, and then it's always about, you know, which one also that combined and the amount of it. So it's all this alchemy and the sensualism, you know. All about balance also, and making very melodious and healing. And so, you know, a beautiful song, and with all this harmony, if we all together start to ohm together, it opens portals. So it's very healing for the body. We all, you know, vibrate. So everything that will vibrate within us will help us to unblock so many things that's locking, that stress being locked. Or
I literally like I think ascended just by putting the cream on. I thought, is there gold in there? I was like, there's something super vibrant.
There is gold, actually, colloidal gold. Yeah.
I felt it. Okay, and the other thing I want to bring up is Clinton that I mentioned earlier, that I think he might still be on, but he was on, started the first, I think ever, online film festival for like web series and short content, and announced in Cannes last year, and it's called Côte d'Azur, and it's really, really cool. I wanted to give him a shout out because with this age of like transitioning into the virtual world and digital arena, are you guys still there?
Yeah, we on Zoom. It's just turned off.
Still there?
Yeah, we're there.
Still here.
You're on Zoom, but I don't think we're live. Something happened with the live, right?
Yeah.
The phone
fell asleep.
My phone?
No,
my
our
phone. Our phone fell asleep.
Oh.
But it's coming back.
It's coming back.
Okay. So yeah, so Clinton, oh, it says that you left.
Yeah, but we're coming back.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'll let you know.
I'll give it a beat.
Yeah, in 30 seconds.
All right, they're coming back, people. It's so cool. My French producer, Martine, is on. Our new producing partner, Sandra, was on. She just had to go. Myra from Italy. So many fun people.
The tribe.
The tribe.
Oh, Clinton says you guys are so wise.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Are you guys gonna request me and come back, or?
Yeah, we're coming back.
Absolutely.
We just, the phone is gonna light up again.
Very soon,
Okay,
not
cool.
yet.
But also, okay, so I'll finish telling you about him because that's really cool. So look out for that festival and follow him on Instagram, Coach de Azur.
Perfect.
Because he also made a short, I think it's a short, yeah, in Africa. And it's going to be streamed online now because of Corona. I think as part of this festival. It's called Ikaba short film. Can also be followed on Instagram, and it looks really, really cool. So
good.
we're excited. And yeah, I mean, if you guys don't come back, it's okay.
We'll do it from mine.
We do it from his phone right now.
It's okay. I'm gonna let Celio start to. Oh, hi, Satya. Okay? Here we go. Requesting. Here we go.
Hello.
So Celio is gonna tell us about the piece that he channeled while we've been talking.
Oh wow!
Today becoming a very beautiful woman.
Nice, Satya.
Yeah.
Show it.
Yes.
Can you put it back?
Let me just. Oh yeah.
You had it. You had it perfectly in your screen.
Now.
MZ Onyx just joined.
Yes.
All these cool names.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Have the
Can you keep it there?
yeah.
He's keeping it there, Satya.
The woman baby have the part of a baby woman, a woman adult, and something like father in the mind. I think so. Something esoteric inside in the ball, in the sphere, right? You see?
Wow.
And then this is the chest, because it's the soul, and something protection the soul, I think so. And I think this him.
Oh.
Celio, you make us look insane. And I love it. We probably seemed insane on this talk. A little bit.
Yeah.
Most probably.
Who doesn't look insane?
We're gonna definitely post it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Beautiful,
That's wonderful.
Celio.
That's beautiful.
This is, I think, so part of life and part of person, have some building inside, but everywhere we find some person is a part of life, but the past you saw everywhere, okay? And but in totally is this is the past. This
It's
is
a little
now.
crazy with the sound.
Yeah.
It's okay, guys. You can leave your phone still.
Okay, but I love this beautiful.
Whoa, Celio, that's incredible.
Beautiful.
It's so beautiful what you're doing, man.
This is now.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna say goodbye to the Instagram show here.
Sorry, my Instagram people, we're gonna have to leave.
So guys, just so you know, the portal, we're in the new moon right now, and it is in between Mary Pickford's birthday and her death day. And so it's really beautiful that we got to come together, because you guys, we've just had such a fruitful collaboration, and I think we're bringing her to life.
Absolutely.
Thank you for like helping and being doulas in the creative process
Mm.
And I love you.
We love you too.
And everyone check
you.
them out,
Bye,
like
guys.
on Instagram and Facebook. Exodeus and Satya, incredible artists. So many things. I'm not even, it's like Mary Pickford, I can't do you justice. So I'm just not even going to put labels to it. But okay, I'm going to sign off from the live. Love you, Amit. Love you, Clinton. Love you, Martine. Love you,
One
everyone.
love, one love.
Thank you,
One love.
Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. You are the best. And
Celio,
Mary
we're going to
Pickford,
come back to you on Zoom, so we're all good. I'm signing off of live. Okay, bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.